What's up, fungal associates? Merry Christmas and welcome to Completely Arbortrary. This is the podcast about trees and other related topics. My name is Alex Crowson and I am one of your hosts. And over there on the big green couch,
that's me.
Casey Clapp.
That's me. Your pause was too long. I panicked, Alex.
I know. Well, you got to keep them on their toes.
That's true. That is true. Instead, I'm on my butt on this big green couch. Doing it. We're back in the on our old stomping grounds this time.
Yeah, it feels good.
It does feel good. I feel comfortable here.
And Casey, it is on the day this comes out, of course, it's Christmas Day.
That's true, the 25th of December.
It's also my niece's birthday.
Oh, it's my aunt's birthday.
How about that?
Incredible. Happy birthday to all those women in our lives.
Is your She's a girl.
Okay, well, all right.
Casey, we have something exciting to share.
Yeah, we do, Alex. That's true.
On our Supercast.
It's the subscription service we use for Completely Arbortrary.
Nice. Arbitrarypod.supercast.com. Our goal by the end of the year was to reach 800 subscribers.
Yes.
At any tier.
At any tier.
Currently, we have 773.
That's right.
Math that.
Math it. Boop, 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 boop. We only need 27 more.
All right. So if there are 27 of you out there.
There's 27 of you and your friends.
Who want to make two little boys' dreams come true for this Christmas.
Your family members, your lovers, they need to be in the club.
Arbitrarypod.supercast.com. Become a Treemium member today. Get us to that 800. And if you do, everybody, not just the Cone Club members, but everybody in the whole damn Supercast
whole realm, the whole universe.
In the whole realm gets a special surprise.
Yes.
We're going to send it to you in the mail.
It's going to be so cool. It's going to be a second cone. And, hold on. We got to take a step back. The cone of the month is 5 different cones in a sticker sheet this month for December.
That's right. To celebrate 5 years of Completely Arbitrary.
Exactly.
God, can you fucking believe it?
No way.
5 years.
It's so long.
Cones that we've never done before that we thought, why haven't we done that?
Why is that not here already?
Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's going to be the bonus. And guess what, you guys? On top of all this, if you sign up now, immediately you can get 15% off your first 3 months at either tier.
Wow.
So you're saving a bunch right now.
That's incredible.
It's just mind-blowing to me.
I knew about that.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's still incredible either way.
Yeah, right? It is pretty awesome, and we hope you consider joining or gifting a subscription. We'd really appreciate it.
We really would. And hey, you guys, I'm just going to level with you. You can just get it for this month and then cancel it. I don't care.
I don't think so.
Just do it. Just get it. Just get in.
This is where Casey and I split.
What?
I think you should remain in there forever.
Okay. Well, I guess I actually, now that I think about it.
It's like paying a tithe to the church.
Yes, join the Church of Completely Arbortrary. Once you're in, just give us access to your bank accounts and everything's cool.
Well, listen, Casey, it may be Christmas, but that doesn't stop 2 things. USPS or Completely Arbortrary. And we got to talk about a tree today. The tree in question, the Oyster Bay-pine.
The Oyster Bay-pine.
And this is Callitris rhomboidea.
Yes, it is.
And we're going to talk about this false pine after a quick break. We'll be right back with Completely Arbortrary. Welcome back to Completely Arbortrary. Today we're talking Oyster Bay-pine, a false pine.
It is a false pine.
And I looked at a picture of it and I thought, that's not a pine.
No, in fact, it's also, it's in the cypress family.
I thought it might be because it looks just like an Italian cypress.
Excuse
me, the cone to me looks just like an Italian cypress cone.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Or some kind of cypress cone.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Oh, good. I passed your test.
Yeah, you did. Luckily.
I can't have an opinion unless Casey agrees.
Exactly. Because if I don't agree, then it's a bad opinion. And I want to take care of you, Alex. I don't want you to have bad opinions. This is for your good.
Well, Casey, this is Callitris rhomboidea.
Yeah.
And let's pretend, as we do every episode, let's imagine, rather, that you and I are in Oyster Bay, Massachusetts.
Oh, well, that is exactly where these trees grow.
And we come across some of these trees. Casey, let's ID this tree.
All right, let's do it, Alex. So, unfortunately, you took a bit of a wrong turn on your way off to the Cape, and you ended up in a Cape on the southern eastern side of Australia.
There is no Oyster Bay, Massachusetts.
No, there isn't.
But it sounded like there would be.
Yeah, it kind of does. Honestly, it sounds more like a coastal thing over here. We have a lot of oysters off the coast of the Pacific Northwest here.
That's true. Well, we're in Australia.
We are in Australia, correct.
Okay.
So we are in the essentially the bottom right-hand side of Australia. So in Victoria, New South Wales, technically off of the coast of Adelaide and Tasmania. And in particular, we're in kind of like the well-drained, sandy kind of drought, warm areas in this space. And that is where this tree grows. It turns out there's about 16 species of Callitris, which I have to say, I have always pronounced Callitris. Then I looked closer, and guess what?
You were adding an S.
I was adding an S. There's no S there.
Yeah.
It is Callitris with
Callitris.
two L's, one I. No S's other than the one at the very end. So Callitris rhomboidea. So there's 16 different species, 13 of which are in Australia and Tasmania and that kind of area. And then there are 3 that live off the coast in New Caledonia, that island of misfit trees that does the most fascinating things.
Yes, okay.
So this is one of those species, and apparently, along with eucalyptus, it's like one of the more common like trees, like genre that you're going to see in Australia.
Really?
Yeah, which is interesting because it is a cypress family tree.
And the family is Cypress, Cupressaceae, but the genre is Callitris?
Correct.
Okay.
And most of the cypresses, Alex, in the family, they are in the northern hemisphere for the most part.
Okay.
So obviously not all of them. We have a bunch down here, but the pines and the cypresses tended to be the Laurasian plants that grow up in the northern hemisphere, kind of half gigantic continent, huge thing after Pangea broke up.
Was this potentially stranded down here?
It could have been. My guess is probably not quite stranded.
Okay.
My guess is that it kind of moved down with other cypresses over the course of the millennia, kind of down through Oceania.
Okay.
But I don't know 100% where how long it's been there. Though this individual genre, this genus, has been around for about 35 million years or so. So it's definitely had time to get down there. But yeah, it might have been there in Australia for at least 35 million years, that's for sure.
Interesting.
So it is one of those unique guys that looks just like other cypresses that you are ever going to see. The one fun thing about this is that the leaves grow in threes. So they're like these little triplets down the stem.
How do you mean?
Well, you know how you have the scale-like leaves and the awl-like leaves, right?
Yeah.
So in most of the cypresses, they are in pairs, where you have, like western red cedar, for example, you have 2 lateral leaves, and then you have 2 facial leaves. One's on the top and one that is on the bottom.
Okay.
So they're basically 2 pairs that are on the left and right, the top and bottom, and then they alternate left and right, top, bottom, left and right, top, bottom as they go down the twig.
Okay.
So you get those really nice, beautiful patterns that we know of.
Yeah,
a lot of the cypresses, So some of them, like in the junipers, for example, they are not in pairs, but often they're in threes as well. So this is one where it doesn't have all those scales in pairs, left and right, left and right, left and right, up, down, up, down, up, down. It has it in threes, similar to like the giant sequoia, for example.
Well, it would make sense because in Australia, everything's a little different.
Yeah, that's right.
It's always... You know, they say everything's bigger in Texas?
Yeah.
Well, everything's different in Australia.
Everything's different down here.
We got 3 needle pines. I mean, false pines.
I mean, that's real confusing. Yeah, so they end up creating these really beautiful, like, I don't know, they almost look like they are... scaled and chain-like. I don't know. It's hard to describe the needles, but they look almost like they're sectored, where you just have like almost connectors where you just kind of go click, 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 click. And you have these individual things.
Like little toys or something.
Exactly.
They're very nice looking.
They look almost plastic to me.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
You can really see the definition in the shape.
Yes, totally. You can see them really clearly. So that is, they're tall trees. They can grow up to 50 feet tall, about 15 meters or so, and can become decent-sized trees in their own right, although, of course, they're dwarfed by the larger eucalyptus in many places. But they grow in these dense stands, and then they are in well-drained soils. On the coast, they can be these really, like, intense, like, weird, contorted, small little shrubby things because they're just getting battered by wind and sea smoke and all that kind of stuff. Sea smoke meaning just fog with salt.
Salted fog.
Yeah, I said sea smoke, and I was like, "You're stuck with that now, guy. You got to keep going."
Sea smoke is a cool, like, I don't know, Street Fighter name.
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Here comes sea smoke.
Get out of my way.
And he has a trident.
Yeah,
like Poseidon.
Which, use that once, and then you gotta pull it out, or it'll find another thing. It's really actually quite difficult to pull a trident out of a body.
It's not great practically, but it looks cool.
It does. That's exactly it. So they grow in very droughty areas. So they're very good, very drought resistant trees.
Okay.
Now, the bark on this is very much like what you'd expect for a cypress. It's kind of dark, it's a little fibrous, but also kind of rough. So it really does, in my opinion, just absolutely shout cypress of the Southern Hemisphere.
Totally.
It matches it in so many different ways. But just like you're saying, just like the Australian plants that have been just shanghaied on that island for so long, they just look a little bit different. They've just adapted in a different way over such a long period of time where they do everything just a little bit differently.
Totally.
But you look at them, you see them as you walk up to them. If you're from the Northern Hemisphere, if you've seen a true cypress, when you go down to Australia and you see these trees, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's a cypress any day of the week.
You know how I would describe this bark?
Yeah, give me what you got.
I would use the word mottled.
Mottled?
Mottled.
Yes. Okay. Give me why.
I don't know. Huh. You know, like in books.
I'm not telling.
They'll describe somebody with mottled skin.
Yeah.
Mottled skin. Ooh, it's like kind of sloughing off, you know? I don't know. It just looks mottled.
Yeah, okay.
Don't ask me any follow-ups.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This...
Co-judges.
Co-judges, okay. We're both in power here. But it does the same kind of thing that some of our cypresses do down here, which is when they're young, it's kind of smooth and it starts exfoliating. I think that's one of the mottled bits that you're seeing.
That's mottled.
It's like exfoliating off a little.
Yeah.
But as it gets older, it becomes much more like fibrosy, and it looks like it is these long, strappy ridges that kind of interweave up the stem.
Wow.
And we definitely get that in a lot of our true cypresses down here in the Pacific Northwest a little bit, but mostly in the Southwest of the United States.
Well, Casey, can we talk about this cone?
Oh, yeah, we can.
I really like this cone.
Yeah, get out of here, cone. What do you like about it? Tell me what your first impressions are.
Well, I'll describe it first.
Okay.
It appears to be peltate, but kind of.
Yes, here's the thing. Peltate is the shield-like, right, where they butt up next to each other. This one does the same thing. The difference is between some of the other peltate scales that you're familiar with, again, those cypresses, those are in pairs. These are in threes.
Oh.
They have 6 scales.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they kind of look like a rosebud shapes.
Yes,
a little
totally.
bit.
Yeah.
Like a Western red cedar.
Exactly. Yes. Except they're like, imagine taking. I mean, I want you to finish.
No, that's okay.
But having that the rosebud-like form, but then hybridize that with a Western red cedar.
Yeah.
Where it's like it has the form, but it's bigger and tougher and woodier. You know.
It's nice.
Yeah. It kind of to me looks like a crown. Like an old British crown.
Totally.
With like these little poofs that come up because each scale, it has it almost like it has a humpback, and the humpback has this little point on it, this protuberance.
That's calling it a crown is apt because I'm thinking of like the kind of crowns with like the pillow.
Yes,
the
exactly.
pillow top crowns.
Yes, like the one in the guy in Hamilton.
I've never seen that.
You got to go watch it. It's on Disney Plus or something.
I don't give a shit. But he has a puffy crown.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's exactly it. It is that puffy crown style.
Are these like 3/4 inch?
Yes, that's exactly right. They are literally.
Look at me.
Very well done. Are you
Christmas
reading
miracle.
my notes?
No, I'm just using my eyes and my wit.
This is incredible. Your wit and your eyes do not betray you. Yeah, about 3/4 inches in diameter. So more or less about the same if you are going from toe to tip. Okay, so that's kind of what these trees look like.
Cool.
They create these nice, very conical crowns in their youth, and then kind of open up a little bit and become a little bit more wide when they are of an age. But for the most part.
Oh man,
they're just gorgeous trees. Yeah, they can get kind of big and round. The way these are described in the literature is that they are kind of they fill a similar niche in Australia and Tasmania as the junipers do here in western United States, where we have lots of different species that have each kind of found their own niche, but they tend to be this kind of dry habitat, very drought-resistant kind of trees.
Like good at sucking up water.
Exactly, or rather, good at not losing water.
Okay.
Now, there are a few species that look very similar that grow in different habitats, just like, of course, here we have junipers that love to be right next to water. There are others that don't do that at all. This species that we're talking about in particular is one of those.
Okay.
It's extremely drought resistant. So it's not necessarily that it is wildly good at figuring out and grabbing where the water is. So like, it's a certain kind of drought tolerance, right? Where you're not really tolerating the drought, so to speak. You're just really good at finding the water. So you send roots way down, like the mesquites and things in the Southwest and in Africa, where they just send down roots really deep, where they grow down and tap into the very deep-held underwater kind of aquifers way down there, right? Turns out there are other trees that just kick it, and they're like, well, when water gets scarce, I'm going to do some things inside of my body to make sure that I don't lose any water.
They say, what can I control?
Exactly.
In this situation.
And they can control their guard cells.
Guard cells?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a very monarch kind of feeling tree now that we're talking about it.
It really is.
Yeah, this is interesting.
And speaking of peltate cones.
Yeah, shield-like.
Guard cells?
Yeah.
Guards hold shields.
They do. They generally hold shields. So I have been, here's a quick plug. If you're in Idaho, Boise specifically next month, later in the month, or if you are in Billings, Montana on like the 4th or the 6th of January.
It's very specific.
Come hear me talk about trees and how water moves in them, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, just a plug for a quick, technical conference for arborists.
Cool.
Yeah, just show on up.
I'll definitely try to make it.
Yeah, thanks for trying. Definitely.
How water moves in trees.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I was asked through these folks, and they said, hey, well, we really want to hear about how water moves through trees. And so I was like, oh yeah, great, let's do it. It sounds wonderful. So you may recall, Alex, we were talking about trees that had different colors.
Yes.
So that was for our pride, right? Mm-hmm. So way back then when we did that, we talked about the northern red oak, and I believe the Nootka cypress, otherwise known as the Alaska yellow cedar.
That's right.
We talked about how the water, or how their wood is built. We talked about vessels and tracheids. Do you remember that?
Ooh, no.
Great. We're going to go over it anyway.
All right.
So basically, way back then, we talked a little bit about kind of the anatomy of these trees, like how they worked and what they're made of and the differences between conifers and broadleaves, right?
I do remember the highways within wood.
Yes.
Which are called parenchyma cells.
That is it. The parenchyma, they're like those living cells that are like jacks of all trade. They can do literally anything.
I didn't know what was going to come out of my mouth until I said it.
Really?
But I just trusted that it would come.
That was beautiful. Yeah, you
Parenchyma.
sent it, and you said it perfectly.
Thanks.
Parenchyma is exactly the right cells.
Yeah.
Good job. Gold star for Alex today.
Yay, this
Everyone?
class is easy.
This is easy. All right, now tell me, what's the water potential of a conifer leaf?
6 pounds per inch of square footage. Is that right?
You're spot on, Alex. Spot on.
All right.
So what I have been doing over the last couple days is really just diving into the nuances of how water moves in trees.
God bless you.
Thank you, Alex. I'm doing it so none of the rest of you have to.
Sick.
But definitely come to that conference so you can hear how good my talk is. So basically, I was like, okay, let me just make sure I got this down. Because I think I knew, how water moves in trees. It gets absorbed through the roots, through osmosis, and then it gets pulled up. And pulled specifically, not pushed.
I remember this.
Yes.
It's like, can I just give you what I remember first?
Yes. Oh, please.
And then you can tell me how wrong I am.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
I think
you're setting yourself up for failure.
Like a hydraulic system.
I'm familiar with
how
it.
it uses what's that called? Like a vacuum.
Yes.
What's that called? That kind of energy.
I think it's just called a vacuum.
Yeah, they use a vacuum.
Yeah.
To create like a pulling. So I think in trees, the water gets to the top because there's like less pressure at the top and more pressure at the bottom, or something similar.
Yes, you actually have it precisely backwards.
There's more pressure at the top.
There is less pressure, more pressure. Yes, it's a negative pressure system.
Negative, okay.
Yes, which is essentially how your lungs work. So in your chest cavity, it's a vacuum around your lungs.
Right.
So because of that, your lungs are always wanting to expand out. So the air inside of it, any amount of air inside of it is pushing at 1 atmosphere kind of pressure. Which is more or less what we have, here on the ground. We have 1 atmosphere's worth of pressure pushing, so that all the air and everything above is pushing on the ground.
Okay.
So in our chest, our lungs always want to expand. So it's kind of this negative system that basically makes it so your lungs are always inclined physically to take in air.
So you don't just randomly stop breathing.
Exactly. So if you have a lung collapse, the way I did several years ago, your lung pressure in one side of your cavity essentially equals out. So your lung collapsing is really just that now there's equal pressure on the outside and the inside. So your lung no longer just naturally expands.
Okay.
So we have obviously muscles and everything's movement, but if we're just sitting here casually doing nothing and we take a breath in, it doesn't take a lot of effort for us to take our breath in because it's being pulled open, essentially.
Interesting. Okay.
So in trees, it's the exact same thing. So hydraulics, you have this very hard fluid, this oil usually, and if you push on one side, then that oil is a 1-for-1 push on the other side.
Okay.
And it's really powerful because you can just press a button, increase the pressure, and then it pushes the oil through, and then it has a really strong effect on the other side.
And it does something to a machine on the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking of the hydraulic brakes on my bike.
Yes, precisely. Yeah,
Okay.
and you actually don't even have hydraulic brakes because you have a wire going through there.
Oh.
So it's essentially the same thing if you had a fluid instead of a wire.
Gotcha.
So basically, the opposite is the case in trees, where if this was a hydraulic system, then all of the water in the tubes in the tree would basically be pushed up and pushed out to the ends of the leaves. But we know this isn't the case because if you clip a branch or you drill into a tree, water doesn't shoot out.
True.
If it was a pressurized system with positive pressure, then it would shoot out as soon as you cut it. It's kind of like if you cut a hydraulic thing in a big excavator, and you clip that thing, it'll just be like
Oil starts
just shooting
streaming
out.
out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Same thing with oil wells. You remember No Country for Old Men? No.
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood.
Oh, yes.
Yes, when they tap into it and then it shoots up. And that's because there's literally tons of pressure of the entire earth pushing down on this reservoir. As soon as you pop a hole in it, poof, it starts to shoot up.
Okay.
So that is a positive pressure system.
Okay.
So in trees, there are 2 different tubes. There's the vessels in the broadleaf trees, and there are the tracheids in the conifers.
Wow.
Now, vessels are essentially actually they're kind of like my water bottle here, where they're just these cells that are cylindrical in shape. They have perforations on the bottom and on the top, but they're essentially just these cylinders with the flat side on the top, flat side on the bottom, then a bunch of holes in the side. So they're connected top to top, and they just are like pipes that just are put one on top of each other all the way up a tree.
And those are the size of cells?
They are the size of cells. Depending, for broadleaf trees, they can be a few centimeters long, or they can be several meters long.
Wow.
Yeah.
A single what'd you call it?
A single vessel.
A single vessel cell?
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
Call them vessels.
Yeah, just vessels. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So they can be really long in certain species. How that works, I actually don't know. That's a different thing that I haven't quite looked into, but they can be really, really long.
And they have to be wide enough for water to be able to go through.
Yes, which for vessels, they can be upwards of 800 microns, 20 to 800.
Okay.
Now, of course, what the hell does that mean, Casey?
I don't know what a micron is.
A micron is a micrometer. So it's 1/1,000,000th of a meter.
Whoa.
So that is, in context, your hair. One strand is about 100 microns.
Okay.
So some trees, some broadleaf trees, can have vessels that are 800, so 8 times the width of your hair.
That's pretty thick.
It's pretty thick. Now, conifers, they don't get much more, including our tree that we're talking about here today, than about 20
Microns?
microns.
And those are not called vessels.
Yes, those are tracheids.
Now, should we talk about the difference?
We should talk about the difference. Now, tracheids are kind of long tapered. So instead of being like a water bottle, very cylindrical, they are kind of tapered at the bottom, then they get really wide, and then they get skinny again at the top.
Interesting.
And then the next one is kind of slid in next to it. So because they're so tapered, you can kind of go shunk, 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 and they kind of build in right on top of themselves.
I see exactly.
Yeah, and they do not have that perforated top and bottom. They just have what's called bordered pits, just these holes kind of all over on the side that match up with the trees or the cells next to them, excuse me.
Okay.
So you have these cells that are in the building of the wood. These are xylems. So in that cambium layer on the outside of the wood, phloem is the stuff on the outside, xylem's the stuff on the inside, it becomes wood. These are all dead cells once they're made. They're produced, they die, and then they just have these cell walls. But there's usually a few different layers of them, right? And I misspoke. The widest for our particular species in most conifers, about 30 microns at most.
Okay.
And they're about 5 millimeters long. So they're teeny, teeny, tiny.
Wow.
So these little guys are jammed in next to each other, but they're kind of in a system that has a lot of fail-safes. So if one gets blocked for whatever reason, then it can just send its water left or right to the next one, and then it can move up past that blockage.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's why they're all filled with those bordered pits. So you can then move up straight, but if something goes wrong, then they just kind of go through the sides and then up.
Okay. Can I tell you what the first thing I imagine here?
Yeah.
You've not read this book. I would love if you did.
Okay.
Because I would love your opinion on it. Piranesi.
Okay. Okay.
And it takes place in this sort of like liminal, like Greek halls, just like endless halls connected. Weird. And there's tides, like water tides, ocean tide in the halls.
Yeah.
And they will like fill up a room and then like fill up the other rooms.
Whoa,
but then like,
cool.
So I'm imagining that.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Period.
I'm in. Well, that's what they do.
So if there's like a blockage in one of these tracheids,
yes, or the vessel, either one,
it will kind of shuffle that water off to the next one.
Exactly.
And what happens to the block?
Then the block can usually just stays there, but that is kind of the interesting thing. So the way that all this water is moving up, remember how we were talking about it being in tension, it's getting pulled up because of that negative system. Well, that negative system starts at the leaves, in the little stomata, those little pores in the leaves.
Oh, yeah.
Those are surrounded by guard cells. And the guard cells are responsible for opening and closing the stomata.
Oh.
Now, stomata are pores. They're not really individual cells.
Okay.
They're just kind of these pores. They're spaces. It's kind of like resin ducts in conifers. The resin is produced, and then it just kind of fills this space, this kind of voided out cell.
Okay.
And also the space in between cells, which is really teeny tiny.
So sorry. There's a lot of new or old terms. So the pores are the stomata.
Yes.
But they are not like, they don't do anything.
Yes.
They're just holes.
Correct.
And the guard cells are like little sphincters that open and close.
Precisely.
Letting water in.
No, letting water out. Carbon dioxide in.
Okay.
Because carbon dioxide is used so is water, in the use of, in the making of sugars in photosynthesis.
I don't know how anything works.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
So the cells take in carbon dioxide. They take water from the roots. Photosynthesis. Pow. Sugars. They love that shit.
And then they let out
water. Oh. They let out water vapor.
Okay.
Because during respiration, which is the opposite of photosynthesis, that's when you burn the sugars, and every combustion equation, every reaction that is considered technically combustion, which respiration is one of, they create carbon dioxide and water.
Okay.
So every time you light a match, you're creating water and carbon dioxide. Isn't that fun?
And yet fire is the enemy of water.
Uh-huh. Wow. Isn't that great?
Really makes you think.
Really makes you
about
think.
Something.
Yeah, and whatever it is, let us know. Send us an email. Yeah, so
just generally, it makes you think.
Just generally.
Not about anything specific.
Yeah, honestly, it started making me think about how to build a car. And I don't know why, but there you go. But yes, so that's what these pores do. You're right. And thinking of them as a sphincter is exactly the right thing. Okay, everyone, we have to say it. It's a butthole. Sphincter is a butthole.
there are many sphincters. The butthole is one of them.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to nip in the bud.
I know.
And everyone was nip in the butt.
Nice.
Whoa. I know that's what everyone's thinking, but I'm glad you brought it up. That there are others because that I think it's important to know.
There's one in your throat.
There's one in your stomach.
And there are probably some in your legs. I don't know.
So these guard cells, they will open and close depending on the amount of water inside of them. Now, they are releasing one molecule of water vapor. Essentially, there's water that is technically liquid inside the cell. Then, as it gets close, it will either kind of just evaporate into the intercellular area or kind of like go and just kind of go whoop and escape through the leaf some way or somehow.
Okay.
But most of the time, it goes through these pores. One molecule evaporates into the world. That molecule, because water has such high tension on it, you know how you drop a bit of water on a flat surface, it stays as a drop? It's because of water tension, because they're slightly polarized molecules. So every time one molecule gets pulled, it pulls on the next one right next to it.
Okay.
On and on and on and on, individual molecule by molecule through all of these cells, the water is pulled from that little pore, from the next cell to the next cell to the next cell, through the xylem of the leaf, out the petiole, into the twig, into the stem, down the branches, into the roots, into the ground outside.
Oh my God.
It's all connected. It's all connected, Alex.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
Molecule by friggin' molecule.
I don't really understand it, I'll be honest.
Okay, imagine a chain.
Got it.
Okay, imagine that chain is connected in every cell. So not only is it one single chain, but it's a chain through all these tracheids and vessels that are also connected through the pores on the side. So you have a chain going up through, let's say, one tracheid cell. It has individual chains connecting to it through each one of those other pores.
Okay.
Each one of those other little holes in the individual cell.
A little network of chains.
Network of chains that grow and connect out into all of every single cell in the tree that is still living and has water in it.
Okay.
And then those are connected out through the roots, through the fungus, and then into the world that is filled with water that's, let's just say unchained. You just have water chilling out in the soil. That's also technically connected to everything else. All the water it's connected to is kind of pulled along this little chain. So as one individual link of that chain at the very tips in the leaves gets evaporated out through these stomata, that chain is tugged ever so slightly, and it pulls on all the other water, all the other chains throughout the entire system.
Oh, pulling the water toward it.
Exactly.
Because of water pressure.
It's negative pressure. So it gets sucked out on one side, and because it gets sucked out, now there's a negative force. There's a vacuum, and that vacuum is like, wow, I need to pull more. And it pulls in ever so slightly more.
Wild.
And then that chain just kind of moves up, bloop, 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 ever so slightly.
Jesus.
And it's connected to every single leaf.
Does this happen in all plants?
Yes, every single plant. That's how water moves in plants.
Wild.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
It's not pushed. It is pulled.
So like here I'm going to make a little story.
Okay.
You know the telephone game?
Yes.
You say tell him that I said be there at 6. So that guy tells the next guy he said be there at 6. And then that guy tells the next guy be there at 6. So eventually you tell 100 guys that way.
Yeah.
The 100th guy that to be there at 6, but you didn't speak to him.
Yes.
But because of
the telephone,
human pressure, you communicated with him.
Yeah.
And then he might tell you something. Now he's tugging back.
Exactly. Yeah. Now,
it's not great.
I think that's good actually, because when that tug backs, when there's another message kind of going up and down.
Yeah.
If the tug back happens, that could be because that guy's like, there is no 6 o'clock. I can't be there at 6 o'clock. I don't have enough to be there at 6 o'clock. Okay, now our metaphor is kind of running into a bit of trouble.
Are these men at a steel factory?
What is happening? Yeah. So imagine though, on that tug, if there is no other water to be tugged at the base.
Okay.
So as you go up, the pressures get insane. Just absolutely insane. As you are in these teeny tiny little tubes, for all intents and purposes, it is a series of tubes inside of a tree.
Yeah.
Each one of those little tubes has such a tiny amount of space that the water molecule has tension to hold on to the side. And it uses capillary action to fill up all these little things.
Whoa.
So all these little teeny tiny like microscopic forces inside of this teeny tiny little thing make it so that you can do that pull. But as soon as there's no water at the base in the soil, the roots are like, I'm out. I got nothing. I can't get any more water. Then you are getting this tension that's getting pulled. So each one of those links is getting like pulled extraordinarily.
Okay.
So as that tension gets really high, then the pressure gets really high.
Okay.
When pressure gets really high in a vacuum, then the water ends up boiling for all intents and purposes.
Okay.
Because if you have like high pressure, that induces heat. You get high heat, you boil water. All these kind of things start to come together. But essentially, you asked, well, what would that stoppage be? Like, what would be a thing that would happen if this chain broke maybe right in the middle? That is what we call an embolism.
Oh.
And an embolism in humans is like, you get something caught in your vein.
Oh, God.
So it's like a blood clot, right?
Yes.
Now, if you are a tree, then air getting in that water column, that is an embolism. So the air is blocking the flow of water because the tension got so high that it ended up having the air expand inside the cell. And now, because there's a breakage in that link, the water that's getting pulled out is not pulling water up with it.
Sure. So there's a blank space.
There's a blank space. And that is called cavitation.
Cavitation. Boy, you've got an uphill battle this episode.
Hey, guess
I'll
what?
tell you that much.
We ain't talking anymore about cavitation. I'm saving that for another time.
I'm more interested in cabbagetation. I'm hungry.
Yeah, we got to get you some kimchi, baby.
Yeah, man. Cavitation is when there's an embolism and it creates a big empty space in a tracheid or a vessel.
Yes. That was perfect, Alex.
Thanks.
That's literally it.
I sound like Martin Luther King. No, that's not a famous smart person. Well, he is, but
not a scientist focused on tree biology. Yeah. He was famous for other reasons.
Kind of a social scientist. Okay, interesting.
Yes. So what happens when this happens? If it's not so bad, if there's enough water to go around, then that is when the water moves to the side. And that's when it kind of bypasses this embolism. And
okay, so the blockage is not like a thing in the tube. It's like an absence of things.
Exactly, because it's got to be that one chain.
Okay.
And that chain has to be connected, and it starts the very moment that seed puts its first root out.
Wow.
When that water moves up from the little first radical into those little cotyledons, it is established, and it has to maintain the same chain throughout the entire life of that plant.
Crazy.
And if it breaks, that's when you get dieback, because now the water, essentially, it's like a train driving, and then two of those cars get broken. The last ones are just kind of sitting there. You use up all the trains, they all leave and go to the next place. Once they evaporate out the leaves, there's no extra water. That's when you get dieback in that foliage.
Okay.
That's when you get the tree itself saying, I actually can't support this. I don't have enough water to support my entire canopy. So it starts to go whoop, 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 and die itself back.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, when you see like a little clump of dead foliage, that could be a cavitation.
Exactly. Especially if you're like, well, this is drought stress in this tree, you'll see that happening. Yeah.
Wow.
We're going to talk more about that when we talk about another thing later in the next couple months. I'm very excited about it.
Cool.
But in particular, that does not tend to happen in our tree. Oh, wait, what? We're still talking about a tree here today? Turns out we are.
I thought we were talking about trains and or steel men factories.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Steel men factories where they make the steel men.
That's where they make Superman. Duh.
The men of steel.
So our tree, let's remind ourselves, we're talking about the Oyster Bay-pine.
Yeah.
It is a drought-resistant tree. So people have known that this is how water moves in trees for a long time, but now they're like, well, what mechanisms actually regulate that whole thing? What mechanism regulates the guard cell?
Yeah.
And it turns out there's an acid that's called abscisic acid.
Okay.
That acid will move up in concentration inside the cells. When it moves up, it changes the concentration in that individual guard cell, and the guard cell's Turgor pressure will go up or down, essentially get loose or tight, and then the sphincter will open or close.
That's enough. What makes that acid What makes the acid levels high? A lack of water?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lack of water, the acid concentration rises.
The sphincters close.
The sphincters close. The turgor pressure goes down.
And they go, we don't have enough water to release water vapor.
Exactly.
We need every bit we can get.
Precisely. Now,
The acid told me so.
The acid told me so. Now, what's interesting about this is that most of the time, when this happens in normal plants, this acid, which is essentially like a plant hormone for all intents and purposes.
Okay.
It says close up, and then as soon as water starts coming back, the concentration has to like level out, has to recover.
Sure.
And then once the cells are recovered, they're like, okay, open back up again. We got good water, but there's like this lag, right? Because
Like
it has
pH balance.
exactly perfectly said.
Okay.
But turns out in our tree, it does that for the first little while, and then afterwards it's like, okay, let's just get rid of this acid. I'm just going to wait, and I'm just going to hold on, and I'm going to make my decisions of when to open my cell based on the water potential inside of the leaf itself.
Wow.
So it's ever so slightly different, but what this little guy does, this little Oyster Bay-pine, is it sits there and it says on short term, it is going to use this acid to help regulate the thing. But then if it goes for like 20 days, 30 days without any water, it says, okay, acid, you're done. I'm not going to worry about that anymore. And I'm just going to sit here and just hold tight until I get more water. And then as soon as I get more water, as soon as any water comes and touches that leaf and gets into that system, then it basically says, go! And then it opens up that cell and it starts to do a little bit of photosynthesis, just like that.
So the acid is only useful when the water's going up and down consistently.
Exactly.
But
And
if
then
there's a drought, then the acid is kind of useless because it's like, well, we know there's a drought. We don't need the acid telling us there's a drought.
Yes, and because the acid and the concentration of it has to kind of level out, there's a lag. Once water gets into the system and it can start moving again, there's a bit of a lag before it can happen.
Okay.
But because of this switch where it says, okay, now I'm just gonna go straight for water potential. As soon as there's any amount of water and that potential changes inside the leaf, then the leaf is like, go, open immediately.
Okay.
And then if it changes again, then it will close up again and the process kind of will start over or at least kind of go back a little bit.
But the acid's not changing.
The acid is not changing.
Because there's a lag.
Yes. So it makes it...
The tree's acting faster than the acid.
Yes.
Whoa.
It's basically saying, I'm not going to worry about it. The acid actually kind of goes away entirely.
Oh.
The acid is no longer a thing it's even paying attention to.
Interesting.
It just says, okay, thanks for that. You're no longer needed. I'm now just going to stay tightly closed and I'm just going to wait. But as soon as that water comes, that allows the tree, exactly as you're saying, to move faster than the acid would let it otherwise.
Wild.
So it has figured out a way to be even more efficient with its water use and water loss in extreme drought when it hasn't got any water for 30 days or more.
Question.
Yes.
Will this tree eventually evolve out the acid?
I don't think so.
Does it really need it?
I think so because it seems like it is very common across all plants to use this abscisic acid.
Okay.
So that's something that all plants, or at least very, very much most plants, certainly seed plants, use in order to make these cells open and close. But sometimes it is more useful to evolve a second strategy. So I think it will probably keep this first strategy as like, okay, we're going to use this acid concentration to know, okay, well, there hasn't been a little bit of water, so I'm going to close it up. And then, okay, there's some water. Okay, I'm going to open things back up. And it will use that as like this mediative kind of process. But then as soon as it gets to kind of really dire straits, then it switches to a different process.
Okay.
So I think that it will probably keep the first one as really like a good use of the mediating tool in the short term. It's when it gets to the long term that it had to devise this new kind of strategy.
Okay. And then does you said the acid goes away eventually, but will the acid come back if there's like a nice plethora of water for a long time?
Yeah. And then if that's followed again by another drought, then the process starts again from the beginning.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like in the juvenile trees have the acid.
Yeah.
And then it goes away.
Yeah. It's produced in the leaves all the time.
This kind of stuff really, I watched Modern Times.
Okay.
The film by Charlie Chaplin last night. And it's about, there's a lot of machines in it.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about the human body as a machine.
Yeah.
And like how finely tuned all of these systems are working together. And like You know, then you mentioned this acid, and I'm like, oh, so the cells know what to do. Like, this is life. Life. This tree has life.
Yeah.
The cells know what to do because of a concentration of acid in the water in the cell.
Yes.
Or in the tree. Yeah. And that's a machine. You know? Like, it's just so fascinating to me. Like, how small these processes get.
Yeah.
And then the product that it all makes is a tree.
That is like such a good way, like a good point to remember that each individual cell is making these decisions.
Yeah.
And then that also affects all the things that happen below. And they are doing it on every single leaf.
See, that's very Buddhist, Casey.
Is it?
To say that, like, every cell in your body is your body.
Yes.
You take one cell out of your body's no longer your body. Like, your body is made up of body cells.
Yes.
There is no thing called your body, right?
Yeah.
And then you can extrapolate that to be like, well, why aren't we, like, you and I are like the same thing? You know, like, we're all just like cells in the same earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love that idea.
Yeah.
And the more that I read about kind of these intense models, like you're talking about it being a mechanistic model, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's how we have thought about things for a really long time. In fact, it came from the Industrial Revolution when we're like making these machines. We're like, wow, everything must have this kind of mechanistic way of going about itself. And slowly but surely, we're realizing, wow, these like quote machines are so much more complicated, and each one is making its own decisions, each individual cell. So now that machine isn't so much add this, get that. Like, you could make a machine that creates decks of cards, you know, and you're like, great, you press this button, it starts, and then through all these very mechanical, very feedback and input-output kind of processes, you get this other response. But it turns out that plants kind of are also making their own decisions.
Right.
And they're saying, well, actually, I'm taking this this amount of acid as this cue, and then I'm going to adjust myself. But it also apparently will then pass that on to its offspring in that specific sense where it's like, oh, well, I'm actually now like kind of dealing with a drought, so I'm going to start making offspring that will be able to deal with the drought too. When normally, if it's in a great area where there's no drought issues at all, it will create offspring that has no drought resistance or less drought resistance.
Interesting.
So these machines are also like learning and responding in a way that's not quite so mechanistic as we thought. You know, the closer and the deeper you look, the more that everything is kind of like choosing to do these things, kind of like a bunch of ants, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, that makes me think, about consciousness.
Yes.
And I'm like, whoa, does literally everything have consciousness?
Yeah, have some kind
every
of
cell, you know?
thing. Yeah, exactly.
Wild.
But then it makes me think again, like ants or termites, where like they all have consciousness, but they all are so dedicated to the whole, to where their consciousness is almost like predestined, pre-designed, pre-oriented towards these particular things that they're going to do. So each individual cell, the trachea in the vessel, they've actually died. They are just the shell of the cell wall that has all these holes in it, and because they're small, all this stuff happens naturally. It all is like just physics. The capillary action pulls it up. The water tension pulls it all the way through, you know?
Yeah.
So those cells grew and died, and their bodies are the construction of the tree. But then the parenchyma cells are the ones that are adding and taking and moving. The guard cells at the tops are the ones that are pulling and pushing and saying, more please, no, okay, stop, okay, a little bit more, okay, not there. And so there's all these different like extremely complex things. And if we consider, like what you're saying, that there is this consciousness, then these leaves essentially are making the decision for everything else about when and how, and then deciding, okay, I'm actually going to change my method because I'm getting destroyed by this or that. And then you're just like, okay, these machines are learning.
It's too much.
It's just too much. It's too much not to think that they're conscious in some way.
Totally. And then like, what is conscious? Like, which part of it has the consciousness?
Yeah, is consciousness just moving water?
Is it the cell? Is it the tree? Is it the earth?
Yeah.
Is it all plant matter? You know, it's like one conscious entity.
Yeah, man. Now we're getting there. Holy shit. We need to go to a break. I got to smoke a cigarette.
I would love that. Well, let's take a quick break. We're going to smoke a cigarette, and we will be right back to give our review of the Oyster Bay-pine right here in Completely Arbortrary.
Hi.
We got Smoker's voice in the last 15
Smoked a lot
minutes.
of cigarettes and it hurt my lungs a lot. Just kidding. I can't smoke cigarettes.
I don't like cigarettes either. I have friends who smoke cigarettes when they drink alcohol.
Yes. I have many friends also do that.
And my take is like, that's dumb.
Fair enough.
Why do something that you only do when you drink alcohol?
Yeah, it has a lot to do, I think, with the alcohol itself.
Yes, it releases your inhibitions.
It does, yeah.
As Natasha Bedingfield said.
Which she said so very well. I can't even do it, even if I tried, Alex. I've been like, yeah, all right, yeah, let me try a cigarette, and then I just can't inhale. I've tried.
Oh, but you smoke weed?
Yeah, I have, allegedly. I mean, I'm not gonna.
All right, sorry.
I'm not gonna say that out loud here.
Anyway, allegedly, Casey smoked weed,
but cannot take in a cigarette smoke. This doesn't do it.
It's your body subconsciously rejecting this disgusting.
It totally is
thing in your mouth.
Yeah, then it's like, now go shotgun that PBR. Okay, body.
Probably better, honestly.
Yeah, probably. Certainly for my lungs.
Well, Casey, let's give our rating and review to the Oyster Bay-pine. Here's how it works. We're going to give some final thoughts on this tree, and then give it a rating of 0 to 10 golden jolly cones of honor.
Oh, that's nice.
Anyway, Casey, as our resident expert, we'll begin with you.
Okay, thank you. Honestly, the thing that I like most about this is that it's got this clever way of going about dealing with drought, which we didn't know about until recently. We're like, oh shit, look at that. Cool. Nice. So I like that. I like this tree's kind of like, yeah, I'm just kind of do it my own way. I'm gonna have such strong tracheids in wood that I'm just gonna hold so tight that I'm not gonna break that stream until the last minute.
My sphincter will be so tight.
It's gonna be so tight. It's not even that. It's the wood itself. It's cavitation resistant wood.
I just wanted to say that.
I know, and I liked it, but I love that. I love that fact.
That is
this
cool.
Is just it's so strong that its cells don't capitulate under like a wild amount of pressure on a minute scale.
If I can interrupt your review,
please.
I think that is very cool. It's like you give something tools.
Yeah.
Like these will work. This acid is for this, and use it this way. And the tree's like, I'll try that, but I kind of have my own way of.
I've got my own thing.
My own style. I don't love like other people's version of a solution.
Exactly.
That's
I like
cool.
that. I think that's cool about this tree. I like that aspect of it. The size, the shape, the foliage, I'm like, whatever. Okay. It's fine. The cones, though, are the other thing that I'm like, give me that cone. I do not have this cone, and I want it.
To our Australian listeners.
Give me that cone.
Perhaps send us a cone.
Yes, or perhaps just give me enough money that I can go down to Australia. That's the other option.
So one of those two.
Yes, I really, in fact, now that I know there's 13 species on Australia, I'm like, well, I can collect 13 species. Can I send those back to my house? Yes.
That'd be awesome.
How? I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it, and it's going to be very fun.
Swallow them and poop them out when you get home.
Yes.
Like a bird.
I can do that. Man, okay. I hope the crown goes down the right direction.
Oh yeah.
If it's flipped over, that's true. That's gonna be tough. So I'm giving this tree it's gonna feel really good. It's gonna feel really bad, but it's gonna be a 7.76.
Wow, nice.
Yeah,
7.76.
Now I say that it's gonna feel bad because other trees have been higher, but other trees have been substantially lower. And I like that this one's a tough tree that doesn't ask, like you said, for any help. It's like, actually, I'm just going to do this my own way.
Yeah.
And when you get to the physics of it, literally blows your mind.
That's pretty cool.
And these cones are awesome. So
nice. 7.76.
7.76 for the Oyster Bay-pine. Not a real pine. Probably real oysters in the bay.
Anyway, here are my thoughts. I think this tree's okay. Ooh. The cone is the standout.
The cone is the standout. Thank you. I agree.
And I like it. The attitude of the tree is where it's getting its bonus points for me.
Yes.
It doesn't need your tools. It kind of has its own way of doing things, and I really respect that. stubbornly sometimes am kind of the same way.
Yeah.
If you tell me how to get a solution, I'll be like, all right, just because you said that, I'm going to not use that way.
Do it a different way.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I share it with this tree, and that's great. So I'll give it a 7.0.
Okay, that's great. I don't know what's wrong with me, but the tree's got it too.
Yeah. How great.
It's really nice.
Speaking of Buddhism. All right, Casey. Well, that is a fine review for this tree.
It's a fine review. I'm feeling good about that.
And Casey, it's time for a game. This one is called Here Comes Plantaclaus.
What?
Here comes Plantaclaus, here comes Plantaclaus, right down Plantaclaus Lane. Taxus and Pinus and all his genre pulling on the reins. Bark is flaking, leaves are falling, all is berry and blight. So plant your seedlings and eat your pears, 'cause Plantaclaus comes tonight. Okay, Casey.
That was so beautiful.
I cannot fucking believe I did that in one take.
That was incredible. Do you know what I think is most incredible about this? I did not realize it until just now, that if you chose a different path, you could be a crooner.
Really? This is what made you realize that?
Yes. Well, you always sing like at a couple, like an octave higher.
That is
than,
not
like,
true.
Your normal voice. Yes, you do, Alex.
No.
We've talked about this.
I'm diverse. I sing high and low.
Yes, I know, but you sing as a beautiful, independent artist, not as a Frank Sinatra.
Sure.
And right then, oh, here comes Santa Claus.
I mean,
comes
you know.
Santa Claus. It was beautiful.
I was definitely doing an impression of that kind of singer.
And you know what? You could do it.
Yeah,
That was beautiful.
I don't want to.
I know you don't, and that's okay. I don't know how much market there is for jazz room singers these days.
Yeah, I think probably none.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. But
is
Casey,
unfortunate.
this is Here Comes Plantaclaus, and here's how it works. You, Casey Clapp,
Hello.
are Plantaclaus.
I'm Plantaclaus?
That's true.
Okay.
And you are set up in the mall, and not a lot of people are interested.
Okay.
Except for some people who are looking for a special plant this holiday.
Okay.
They don't really know what they want.
Okay.
But they're going to describe to you what they're looking for.
Okay.
And you will make a little note to yourself. You're not going to tell them because it's a surprise, of course.
Obviously.
On Christmas morning, when Plantaclaus comes, what plant you would gift them.
Okay. All right. I'm into this.
Okay, Casey.
Okay, what do we got?
Here comes your first. Hello.
Hello there, small little boy.
Oh, okay. Can I sit on your lap?
You may not.
Oh.
Stand 6 feet away.
Well, Plantaclaus, do you have a question for me?
Tell me your sins.
No, that's not how this works.
Wait. I'm Plantaclaus?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to tell me about, okay, what do you want for Christmas?
There.
Sorry. Hi, little boy. What do you want for Christmas?
Well, I really love dinosaurs.
Okay, yeah.
And I also really love being in the dark.
Oh.
My room is very dark.
Yeah.
But I also love dinosaurs.
You like dinosaurs in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want a plant that kind of represents me.
I think I know exactly what I'm going to get you.
Oh, thanks, Plantaclaus.
You're welcome. Goodbye. Oh, okay. So, do I tell him?
You make a little note to yourself and to our listeners what plant you're going to get.
I will take my note out loud as I type it here in my notes app.
Very good.
So, a dinosaur tree, what this little boy wants, man, to me, that's a pay win. That's exactly what that is. Some people call it a monkey puzzle. That's an ancient tree. My elf Alex, who I'm talking to also.
Oh, yes.
I think that this little boy wants a pay win because it's an ancient tree. It's a big conifer. It's going to shade that room like nobody's business.
Oh.
It's going to keep it dark. When you look at it, you're going to like, that's a scary dinosaur. And I like that.
That's very good.
I think that's what he wants.
I think he'll have a great time opening that on Christmas morning.
I think he will. I think it's going to be a little pokey.
Oh, Casey, Planta, here comes another child.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi there, little boy. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm a girl.
Oh, hi there, little girl. I'm sorry. I don't see gender.
Just because I have a short haircut.
Okay. Hello, androgynous kid.
Excuse me. Would you like to hear what I'd like for Christmas?
Oh, my God. You're very androgynous. Yes, child, what is it that you would like from Plantaclaus?
Well, I love flowers.
Oh.
I know that much.
What kind of flowers? What color?
Oh, what color? I like white flowers.
Okay.
And I like pink flowers.
Oh.
And here's something.
Mm-hmm.
I live in an apartment building with my mom and dad.
Okay.
And right out back is a brick wall.
I love brick walls.
And it kind of takes up this alleyway. And then we have a tiny little balcony.
Yeah.
That gets moderate sun.
Now, here's a good question. Is there any room to plant a single stem, not even a big one, right next to that wall?
Yeah, there's some dirt.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wouldn't call it soil.
Well, you're going to need a tough plant from Plantaclaus.
Okay.
You're going to need one that's beautiful as well.
Yeah.
I know just what to get you.
Thanks, Plantaclaus.
Why is this happening? Stop kissing me on the lips.
Hey, on the lips was your pitch.
No, that's clear.
That was your improv.
That was your improv, not me. Okay, Elf Alex, I need you to make a special order for me.
Right away, Planta.
Okay, so here's what we're going to need. We're going to need to get an apple tree. The apple tree needs to be one of the most espaliered apples you've ever seen in your life. Whoa. Do you remember what that means?
You said espalier?
Espalier.
Espalier. Oh, French.
Yes, oui. It's a kind of apple that is grown with horizontal branches of other apples grafted onto it. Most of the time. They don't always have to be, but it's just grown in a way that has a single stem, comes up, a branch comes out to the left and to the right. And then the single stem continues, and there's a branch to the left and to the right.
It's a flat tree?
It is literally a flat tree. Okay. It is not grown... It's grown in a particular way so that you can set it in a very small space but still get apples. So you grow it next to a wall, for instance, and then you keep the branches growing exactly horizontally next to the wall.
Wow.
So it doesn't take up any space. And apples, crab apples, and the ones that make fruit that people eat, they have some of the most beautiful pinkish to whitish to reddish flowers. So here's the thing. If we're good, which, let me tell you, we're good. We can graft on different varieties onto a single apple so that on the bottom left could be a dark pink one. And then as you go up and over, the other limbs will be slowly but surely less pink, more white. So you have this transitional flowering tree that goes from pink to white.
That sounds great, Planta.
Plant it right next to the wall. It's going to be happy. It's going to make fruit.
I'm going to make a little note.
Yeah,
that sounds like a great decision.
Checking it twice.
Oh, the mall's about to close, but here comes one more kid.
Oh, no. All right.
Hi, Santa.
Hey there, the Grinch.
What?
Sorry. You just reminded me of an old friend.
Oh, okay.
What can I get you? What's that? What kind of plant?
What can I get you?
What kind of plant are you looking for this season, little child?
Some Planta.
What can I get you? Get out of my face. This is drive-through Santa.
Plantaclaus, how can we help you? Here's the thing. I live in a swamp.
Okay. I had a sneaking suspicion.
Oh. That seems insulting. But
it turns out this is just Shrek.
This is baby Shrek.
This is just baby Shrek.
Kid, you're baby Shrek.
You're baby Shrek. Get out of here.
I live in a swamp, and I love to play baseball.
Yeah.
But every time I play baseball, I hit the balls, and I hit really hard, and the balls break branches.
Oh, my gosh.
And foliage off my mom's trees.
You're really strong.
I'm really strong. I'm an ogre. Bye.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Well, no kiss.
No kiss. Thank God.
Wow. I'm kind of let down.
Yeah, I'm kind of let down. What? You're let down because a small ogre did not give me a smooch?
Maybe it's part of their not part of their culture.
That is very fair. Yes.
Kissing grown men on the lips.
It's not part of my culture either.
Well, Planta.
Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, you protest too much. That kid loved baseball.
Loves baseball.
But he lives in a swamp.
Yes.
And I supposedly wants he keeps hurting the trees in his mom's yard.
So I don't know what to do. I think, honestly, getting some pruning done on those trees would be the best thing. But sure. It seems like Planta Claus is going to need to get a tree for this young child that is a little tougher, a little stronger tree.
Yeah.
A tree that's not going to break when you hit it.
Yeah.
You got a special idea. I also think, instead of hitting baseballs, in order to get better at hitting the baseball, we're going to have this little kid hit small little fruit that's about half the size or less than a baseball. So you end up creating a situation where he's better at the sport because he's playing with a smaller thing.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I also want him to be able to make his own baseball bats with the branches that he knocks down.
And remember, he lives in a swamp.
This is going to be a hickory. In particular, the hickory that I can't remember that grows in the swamps.
Oh.
Dang it. Oh, man. Back in the day when I was in North Carolina learning all my trees at NC State, we learned about multiple different hickories. And I think it's like cordiformis?
A bitternut hickory, yes.
Bitternut. Okay, what's the scientific name?
What you just said.
Yes! Oh, my God!
Cordiformis.
Whew, there we go. That is what I'm talking about.
That's the planta I know and love.
That's me, baby. That little guy grows in the swamps, and it's a hickory. So it turns out that actually hickory is a very common species for baseball bats.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure, I knew that. And it's green, like the kid.
It is green, just like the kid, and it creates these little hickory nuts that you can hit with a baseball if you so choose. So, I think it'll be something fun.
You know what I say about that planta?
What?
It's a home run.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, Elf Alex.
That was Here Comes Planta Claus, and it went great. Casey, it's time for our Completely Arbortrary AMA.
Okay.
If you want to ask a question on the podcast, become a Treemium member. arbitrarypod.supercast.com and get us to that 800.
Get us to that 800. We only need like 25 of you by this point, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah. By the time you're listening to this, you're probably superfluous. Be number 801.
Yeah. Oh, that would be amazing. You guys are the
awesome.
best.
Thanks, guys, in advance. This week, we have one from Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
Lauren says, hey, guys. I was wondering if ye, Lauren says ye.
Whoa, that's what I'm talking about.
And I will say Lauren also has a very Irish last name, like Celtic last name.
Okay.
If ye have a favorite tree superstition.
Oh.
In Ireland, we have some superstitions around fairy trees.
Yeah.
Usually a lone Crataegus monogyna.
Yes, in fact, we had an entire episode where we talked about that species and the fairies within them.
Is that a hawthorn?
That is a hawthorn. That is the English hawthorn or the common hawthorn, depending on where you're at.
There you go. Supposedly, the fairies get pissed off if you cut down one.
Yeah.
And there are tons of stories of lads going bald or losing their fortunes for having done so.
Yes, and may they always.
A lot of our place names are rooted in the Irish word for various trees, like Derry, which comes from dare, meaning oak.
That's amazing.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
People will also leave trinkets and offerings or ribbons on trees beside natural springs and sacred wells.
Yes, that's another huge thing. If you recall, in that episode, we talked a lot about that, and there's one particular tree that had a literal stream of water because it grew on a spring, so water would just emit from the tree itself.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's awesome. Well, thanks, Lauren, for your question. Casey, any favorite tree superstitions? I'm going to open up the question a little bit.
Okay.
To myths.
Ooh, yes.
Or legends.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, man, one of my favorites. So I always love when there is a myth or a superstition that's based on something that, when you look closer, is actually real, but not necessarily for the way that you would expect. But it's also I don't know, I like that interplay between science and like tradition.
Totally.
And sometimes it kind of ruins it for me. Other times it really goes wild. And one of them the first one that I can think of is the bur oak in the Great Plains.
Wow.
And it getting struck by lightning.
Tell me more.
Well, it's in the Great Plains. It's one of the taller of all the trees that grow in this more or less arid environment where there's only, grass that can really get any substantial height. And sunflowers, but these trees will grow and get fairly large, and they tend to get struck by lightning because there's huge, giant lightning storms that come through in this part of the world. So these gigantic storms would come through, and they would tend to strike any lightning. It would hit the oak trees more often than it would not.
Because they're taller?
Yeah, exactly. They're taller. They also have more water in them. So lightning, of course, always going to find the easiest, quickest way to the ground. It would shoot down, hit the leaves of the tree, the branches of the tree, and they would circle down around and they would go into the ground. And often the trees would be seen having been or during their lightning strike, and the natives and the native peoples in this area would see this and be like, holy shit, that's a divine tree, because it's literally the gods, the world, speaking to them and communing with the earth through this tree in particular. Yeah. So I always like that as an idea, because when you look at it scientifically, you're like, well, yeah, that's how lightning works. And so it hits this particular tree in this particular place, and it means a particular thing to these people. Cool. And also it's like, that's kind of like a cool, like, I don't know, way to be in awe of a tree. Like, oh, that's the tree that the gods choose to use to tell us about stuff. You know?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit.
I love that case. Well, I've been racking my brain.
Yeah.
Also listening to your story.
Oh, thank you.
But the only one I can think of off the top of my head is the mouse butts in the Douglas fir.
Oh yeah, that is a cute one.
For anyone who doesn't know, but I feel like everybody does.
Yeah, tell us anyway.
Well, there were some mice, and they got scared.
Oh
God, this is so offensive because I don't know any of the details.
You know it. You're doing it perfect.
And they had to hide from something.
It was a fire coming through.
A fire, of course.
Yeah, and so the mice were like, "Oh my gosh, where do we go?
We can't go down. There's ground there.
Exactly.
We can't go that way. There's fire. Can't go that way. There's water. Got to go up." So they went up the tree, a Douglas fir, in fact. Pseudotsuga menzii. And they hid under the cone scales.
Yeah.
And their little butts are poking out. And now, if you look at a Douglas fir cone, you'll still see their little butts.
Yeah, they're still there.
Hind legs and a little tail sticking out. And that's the bract, of course, which the jury's out on why bracts exist. But I think that they are kind of little wings on the seed for delivery of seeds via dispersal.
That's how the seed goes to heaven.
Yeah, that's right. Every time a bell rings,
a little mouse butt takes a seed to heaven. Duh.
That's my favorite legend.
Yeah. Honestly, there's so many more that we could probably choose from. I mean, Ovid's Metamorphosis is all about the ancient Greek myths and how different trees became and different superstitions that people have with them.
And tell us about Narcissus.
Oh, Narcissus. Well, he was this asshole. He was just looking at himself. He caught a glimpse of his reflection in a pond, and he was like, I'm beautiful. I cannot look away. So he started looking and just was so taken by his own reflection that he just like forgot everything else in the world. And the gods, for his hubris, punished him and turned him into the Narcissus that we know today as the daffodil.
Wow.
The daffodil in its native areas, you can find it growing with its head nodded down, looking at the reflection in the water.
How about that? I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
They grow next to water, I guess?
Yeah, for the most part. And obviously we plant them outside of water and they grow away from water. But historically, you could find them next to vernal pools and things.
Cool. I love that.
Yeah. So, man, that's great. I'm trying to think of like a particular, not a myth, but a superstition about trees, because that's it's a little bit different.
It is
in the Celtic view that Lauren is talking about. Like those trees in particular, it's kind of like, no, don't cut that tree down. Like that's bad juju. Like
for sure,
you're doing something wrong. And I don't know. I feel like yews are like that for me. Like I've always wanted to cut down a yew branch, like a yew stem, to use it for something, because they're used for bows, for bow and arrows. They're used for taxol, obviously, but like they're just really beautiful grained wood. But I'm just kind of have this superstition where I'm like, you're like an ancient thing. Even to get to a foot in diameter, it could take 200 years.
Wow.
So I was like, oh man, I feel bad. I feel like you're ancient in a way that is is more than what I have earned the right to cut it down, kind of thing.
Use also protect the dead.
Exactly, yeah, and that comes
So-
along with it. So I'm like, I don't want to cut down a yew and unleash a poltergeist or something.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
But I could see that happening. I think you should try anyway.
Yeah, let's just see. Maybe I'll bring a Ghostbuster gun with me just in case.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lauren, for your question. Lots to think about there. If you've got a favorite tree legend or tree superstition or tree myth that you love, email us.
Yeah.
We'll do a little segment
We'll
about
talk about
all of your our fungal associated emails.
Mm-hmm. That's a great question.
We called that something. Notes from the forest floor, I think I called it.
Yeah.
It's pretty dumb.
It's great. It's Elf Alex. Jeez.
And like we said, get us to 800, please. Pretty please. Arbitrarypod.supercast.com. Become a Treemium member. Support the podcast. Get cone stickers, a bunch of other stuff. Get us to that 800 and everybody gets a special surprise.
That's right.
Casey Clapp.
Alex Crowson.
I hope this is okay to talk about.
Oh, no.
Off mic, you were lamenting a little bit about the Christmas spirit.
Oh, I was.
How it hasn't really visited you
by
choice.
Okay, yeah, all right.
But anyway, I'll just say Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too. I'm very happy to say Merry Christmas. That is okay with me.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know. What I was saying is I don't like the loss of why we're here to celebrate.
Sure.
And now it's all just get me Christmas present, Christmas present, Christmas present.
Yeah.
Consumerism. I don't like that.
It has been that way for a while.
It has been, and I liked it as a kid because that consumerism got me Star Wars presents.
That's true. We loved it.
That was great. Now as an adult, I'm like, oh man, well, don't you guys want to like sit and have an intentional meal together for a second?
Yeah.
Or like do this instead of me just buying things to buy things.
You spend $30, 10 times.
Yeah.
That's $300.
Yeah. Yeah. What if instead we spend that $300 and go get ourselves like the fanciest dinner we've ever had?
Sure.
And like sit down and actually talk and hear about what's going on with each other rather than just sit around that. And this is my own experience. Not everyone else has this.
Yeah.
But I know there are other ways, and also I prefer honestly the Celtic version of things where the world around it has like this intense tradition that goes back thousands and thousands of years. Because honestly, it's all about like truly, it's pagan. Everything that we do during this time of season is all solstice-related pagan shit.
Yeah.
And that's where I more gravitate towards.
Well, I will tell you that while you were saying that, a cloud opened up in this cloudy sky behind you.
Yeah, it did.
And shone a brilliant Christmas light upon your shoulders.
Oh my God, his heart grew 3 times that day.
I think Planta Claus is looking out for you, pal.
Oh, thanks, Planet Claus. I'm excited to see what I get.
All right, everybody. Merry Christmas, and we will see you next time here on Completely Arbitrary. Goodbye.
Bye. Completely Arbitrary is hosted by Casey Clapp and Alex Crowson.
Our music is by Aves and the Mini Vandals, and our artwork is by Jillian Barthold.
To support the podcast and get rewards in return, become a Treemium member at arbitrarypod.supercast.com.
Thanks for listening.